This week we're back to farming and we're going to start this video off by getting some fertilizer onto our second cut silage ground. Well, technically third cut silage ground. It has now been almost 2 weeks since it was cut, so it is definitely time it got some fertilizer. The next 2 fields we're going to sow add up to, 26 acres, so we need to fill this pretty full. Let's go get another bag. This time it's a fairly simple application. We're just putting on some can. So 27% nitrogen. Pretty much all of our fields have got all the K they need for the year through the last 2 applications of muriate of potash. They have got all of the sulfur they need for the year because we applied polysulfate before the first cut. And there's 1 or 2 fields that need some phosphorus, but I'm going to go on next week and apply that as a separate application. Hence why then we're just sowing can today with 1 fertilizer sower. Oh, I wish I cut the hole in the bag more. Is it quicker to wait or quicker to get out and cut the hole bigger? I think it's quicker to get out. Good job, I'm so tall. Oh my goodness. It's just me here on the farm this afternoon, so I don't actually have that much time to get fertilizer sowed. So this job is not going to be done today. It's going to be spilling into tomorrow as well. But we'll get as much done as we can. Okay, let me bring you up to speed on what has happened since we cut this ground 2 weeks ago. Almost all of it got slurry at 2,000 gallons a hectare. No, 2,000 gallons an acre. 5,000 gallons a hectare. The only fields that didn't get slurry was the Italian ryegrass fields. I will be going back over them with some diammonium phosphate next week. Normally I do apply my fertilizer straight after the ground is cut and then the slurry comes after that. However, this time it was done a little bit differently. It was slurry first, which is what we've done all last week, and now we're going on with the fertilizer. There was 2 reasons why I made that decision. Number 1, I did a very late application of nitrogen onto our growing second cut. So I was pretty confident that some of that nitrogen was probably still there. And it seems like it was. And the second reason why we delayed the fertilizer and swapped it around with the slurry was because of the weather. We have had a crazy amount of rain over the last 2 weeks. And if I hadn't got my second cut off in that 3-day weather window which you've seen, I would probably be doing it in little chunks, really struggling to get it in. So I do think my decision to wait to sow my fertilizer was the correct one. At least I don't think I lost much yield because of doing it that way round. Right, I'm going to sow these fields and then later on I'm going to get Calvin and we're going to go and sow some grass seed on the reseed at Eden Dairy. So I'll film a bit of that and show you what it looks like now. And then I really want to give you a grazing update because grazing has been doing my flipping head in for the last 2 weeks. Oh, but more on that later. Do you want a microphone? No? I think I brought you one. It's just in case we have a good chat.
I feel like I'm on television.
You're on television?
That's not a good thing, Andrew.
Calvin's coming with me because he's going to sow some grass seed on the reseed that we done, what, 4 weeks ago now?
So technically you've messed it up.
No.
It should be in the ground and it should be fine.
No, there was a lot of heavy rain. Actually, it was on YouTube that I went and checked the field and there was no damage. But since then, there's clearly been heavy rain.
Oh!
We've had some that has washed off.
I should get my topper back today.
Why? Oh, there's David. Huh. Oh, you could do some topping after lunch then. That'll work out well.
Ah, yeah, I might have to do that,
We're reclaiming some of the land the road service took and we're going to start growing grass on it again, so... Calvin's also taking a fence out with the JCB today and we're topping the ground that was never cut, so hopefully I might get another cut of silage on it. David done all his... No, he didn't do his silage.
No, he was on with mowing it and then he says he didn't know to mow it or not.
I wonder did he? He mustn't do it, he's here. 2.5 ton on this fertilizer sower is very heavy. Have you ever sowed grass seed by hand before?
Yeah. Have you ever done with a fiddle?
No. Have you done it with a fiddle?
No, but I was told one day that's the best way to do it.
Well, it is, but unfortunately we don't own a fiddle.
I'm surprised William doesn't.
I don't
Since
remember.
he's old school.
I don't remember the last time we've had to fix a reseeded field.
not going to comment on that.
What? It's we've never had it run. I haven't seen it field.
So what about the bottom field where the cows are always in, and there's a big puddle at the bottom? Oh, that's going to be fixed after there's a plough and it's done.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's all weeds now too.
This is why I wanted the new road, because you could sit here 10 minutes with a tanker.
I know, the traffic is ridiculous. We'll fast forward the 10 minutes until we finally get out onto the road. Watch it hit my sewer. It's very narrow.
I thought you were going to say something else there. What, you don't have any wingers?
Well, we don't have a winger after you hit it.
It wasn't my fault, the branch jumped out at me.
This came up really well. You might have very little grass seed to sow. I know you do, so I can see it now. So actually nowhere near as bad as I expected. Although we have had some cattle break in here somehow. I don't know where all these hoof prints came from. But we do have a bit of a washout, so we're going to get some more grass seed onto that. I also think we made a mistake by heavy rolling it, to be honest. It does look like it's sealed ground, and that's probably slowed down the grass coming up. Right, I will leave you to do this. There's a bit over there as well. But you're probably done way sooner than me, so you can enjoy a 20-minute break. You can walk around the field with your grass seed bag. We'll go sow this 25 acres of fertilizer. We've just got 2 ton going in the sower this time. We're going to sow 4 fields. All 4 of them are what I would say were reseeds. Oh my goodness, is this bag rock hard? No, it's okay. 3 of them were reseeded last year, and 1 of them was reseeded probably 8 or 9 years ago. And what I want to do is take a look at the old reseed and compare it to the new reseeds and see what sort of longevity I'm getting out of a reseeded field. And then this might actually be the last load of fertilizer for today. It's currently 20 past 2. It'll probably take me to 3 o'clock to sow this stuff. And then I have to milk this evening with Ellie. And I have to get everything ready for milking. We'll see. My dad's got very fond of his holidays. And when you're on your own, it's very hard to get stuff done. So this is 2 weeks regrowth. Not bad. This field did get slurry, and it also needs sprayed for Dawkins, but it is yielding really well still. So let's take a look at the grass varieties which are still here. Just choose this random patch. So obviously in here we're going to have our perennials, if I could actually get them out of the ground. Yep, purple base, that means perennials. More perennials. So there is still plenty of good grass left. However, we are starting to see some weed varieties. More perennials. Definitely weed grass. But it's really not bad. I get some comments saying that reseeds don't last, and that can be true. But I would argue that's because people aren't putting on the correct fertilizer. If you're going to reseed a field with new modern varieties, you need to fuel them properly. And if you do fuel them properly, and you look after your soil fertility, you can make them last a long time. Right, I'm going to get a thumbnail, then we'll sow these fields. That's probably not bad actually. Stand a wee bit closer maybe. Okay, after this field, we'll go look at the fresh reseeds that were done last year. It was cut on the same day as this field, slurried on the same day as this field, so it should be a fair comparison. Well, as fair as I can make it. Start our AB line, turn off boundary spread on that side, and we are good to go. See you in the next field. Let's see what this field looks like. I have 150 kilograms left, and I have a paddock at the house, which that will be perfect for. And it's currently 3 o'clock already, so this will be the last fertilizer for today. Well, straight away, it should be pretty obvious there definitely is more grass on it. It's sparser, but the grass is a lot taller. And if we pull up a bit, every single bit is perennial ryegrass. More pink bases. That's some regrowth for 13 days. Mental. Right, I'm heading back to the farm. I've got a few wee jobs to do before milking. I'm going to grab myself a coffee and then we will do a little bit of milking in this video as well. Not something I normally show you, but I really want to mention grazing, discuss how much of a challenge it's been over the last month and the consequences of my mistakes on my cows. Welcome to milking. You don't really get to see this on YouTube. I've got to give Ellie a microphone. What are you laughing at now? I've got a microphone for you.
Why?
I'll explain. We need... Scroll that out of the way. Right, we need a name for this segment. I've been thinking about this. What about a play on TED Talks? Teat Talks. That's good. Okay, we get a laugh. That's good enough. So, this afternoon, I was coming home from sowing fertilizer and the road was all blocked.
Right.
There was a woman had broke down.
Oh yeah, I passed her.
Did you pass her too? Right, so in the middle of the A5,
Yeah.
and the traffic was mental. No one could get around her. It was at like the most dangerous junction possible. So me being a nice person, I drove past her, up to the farm, got a tow rope, got a towing eye, and got the JCB, and I drove back down to help her. Okay?
Yeah.
I walked up to her car, opened the door, and she was like extremely flustered. It was just a weird situation. She totally panicked. So I said, I'm going to check in your boot, see if you have a towing eye, and I'm going to try and hook it up to your car. She didn't reply. So I just done it anyway, checked her boot, no towing eye, went back to her car and sort of like leaned in and asked her what's the problem. And then she started pointing to the clock on her dash, being like, it's showing this warning sign. It was the time. Okay, so I was like, okay, yeah. So I convinced her to try starting the car. She turned the key and the car started.
Oh my god.
So I was like, okay, this is great. Then she said, of course it starts whenever you're here. And I was like, I haven't done anything. So I then said, okay, right, see if it will drive forward. So I closed the door of her car and stepped back and expected her to like drive off. She sat there, I'm not kidding, for a further 5 minutes. But
What
I was
time
like,
was
at like 20 past 3. No, like half 3.
that at?
What time did you pass her?
Like
She did
10
eventually
past.
go, but she sat there for ages. But I didn't want to be like, actually no I did. I went back into her and I was like, are you gonna go? We put it in first gear. Closed the door again, stood back, still didn't move. Couldn't believe it. So I think it was a crazy person.
Yeah.
If she sees this, I apologize if you're not a crazy person. Maybe you just panicked. I have no idea. So that's my story. Now it's your turn to tell a story.
I don't have any stories.
That'll have to do her. Come on.
Did you not see me this morning?
What?
Did you not see me this morning?
Where?
You were coming, must have been coming up from either down by the passing lane at like 10 o'clock or
Where
like
were you-
10
where-
past.
Where were you coming from?
Well, I was coming out of Oma.
Right.
It was like at the turn off the fitna.
Did I drive past you in the tractor?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see you.
But I flashed the lights at you and you still
Well,
didn't see me.
I get flashed every 10 seconds on the road.
No, you don't. That's
I
a
do.
lie. That's a lie.
Also, you don't have your normal car. I still haven't got used to the
That
fact.
is my normal car. It's what I use every day.
I got confused. And after
Oh.
the incident where I waved at the girl thinking it was you, I don't do that anymore. That's still my most embarrassing moment to date. Oh, that poor girl. Come on. The last time me and Ellie milked together, she started soaking me with a hose.
What?
Nothing. I got her back. I'll insert
You're
the
lucky
clip
I don't
here.
get you in the face
What?
because you
What?
got me in the car.
What?
You got me in the car.
Well, I didn't mean to. It was an accident. That was an
yeah.
accident. It was an accident. Calvin was complaining today because he says that anyone he meets now, all they do is say, oh, you work for that farm theory boy.
It's really annoying. Oh,
Right, I'm gonna go feed some calves. We'll catch up with you after milking and I'll take you through the problems we're having grazing. So this morning I've already done the milking. I think that's my last milking now for a couple of days, thank goodness. And we're gonna check the milk yields. So I know I promised I would give you a grazing update last night, but I forgot I had to take my son to football, so I didn't have time. I had to get Ellie to close the cows down to the field. So I didn't get my little field shot. And then this morning, I totally forgot about it until now. But the important information you need to know is what has happened to our milk yield. So yesterday, we were at 24.3 litres a day per cow. That is a drop of 4 litres over the course of 8 days. That's pretty bad. I am hoping that that was a blip because it was 26 litres the day before. So today's milk yield matters. This is just a little query in SQL which gives us the milk yield for the same day for the last 5 years. So I'm going to run it with the new date and we are back up to 26 litres. Okay, good. And if we look at, oh, that's 1500 records, that's going to take a while. So if we look at the milk yield across the last couple of days, okay, I clearly was wrong in my head to say it was a drop of 4 litres. It's actually been 2 weeks since we're at 28 litres. So it's not doing too bad. We have a few drops here and there, but it's manageable. What's causing my milk yield to yo-yo so much? Well, it's pretty much entirely due to the weather. When we get good weather like this, our milk yield goes up. When we get torrential rain and downpours, our milk yield goes down. The joys of grazing cows. Before we get back to the fertilizer, let's go and get Calvin started at the topping, since he's been trying to hook on this topper for what must be the last 20 minutes. Do the field at Mark's house and then I'll see if Henry started baling. If he hasn't, we'll top the field up there. If he has, we'll put on the lifters. Because it's the last dry day, there's a lot going on. There's 2 fields I want to get topped first thing. I have another paddock mowed down for bales later on today. I have another little corner of a field mowed for bales, which will also need lifted. I have all the fertilizer to do. And I have a newborn baby photo shoot at 10 o'clock. Shoot me now. Probably helps if the cover open. Right, I'm meant to be home in 50 minutes and if I'm late for this photo shoot, my wife is honestly going to kill me. So I'm going to catch up with you later on after lunch. We will still be sowing fertilizer and then we'll be going to lift some bales. Let's hope I'm not late. Although in fairness to me, organising it for 10 AM on a Wednesday, not the best. And I have just finished the final field. Oh, that is all of the fertilizer sowed on the silage ground. That was a lot of work. I decided I would jump out now I'm finished because I want to show you the regrowth on the reseed that we done this year. This was cut 2 weeks ago today. And the amount of grass that has grown in 2 weeks is astonishing. Now, I do know why this happened. When we cut this for first cut, there was not a lot of grass on it. So after it was cut, it was still really, really green, which meant that it didn't need to green up before it just started to explode in growth. And I suppose this is kind of a really good example of 2 things. Number 1, why you reseed your fields. Last year, these fields only give 2 cuts of silage to the guy who rented it. This year, I am going to have reseeded it and still get 3 cuts of silage off it. And also, it's a really good example of why you want to try and leave your fields slightly green. Now, our second cut this year, that wasn't possible. When we mowed it, it came off very yellow, just because there was so much grass on it. But the 1 fields which were left green, because they were reseeded and they were at a different growth stage, has ended up like this. Right, I'm heading back to the farm. I have Calvin lifting bales. The poor man has, I'd say, 40 or 50 bales to lift. My planned outro to this video was kind of ruined. We took the boat out last night, but it definitely didn't go to plan. Essentially, last May, there was a problem. The boat just had no power. And apparently, that problem had been fixed. However, I did have my doubts. So when we got to the lake last night, where I planned to do my outro with the sun setting over Loch Earn, we still had no power. So I did record some footage for a TikTok of all of the events of last night, and I'm gonna edit it down to a very short, quick montage and stick it on here for all of you to see my experience. We made it to the lake. What an unbelievable evening. Now let's hope we have a boat that is actually gonna start. Okay, let's just leave it like that for a while. We did fill it with super unleaded in case it was old fuel. Let's just be patient. I think we just need to be patient, like wait a few minutes. Just relax and enjoy the lovely view. There's something wrong. I'm not touching the throttle, but the revs are dropping. This doesn't fill me with confidence. What happens if it dies out when we're way out there? Okay, we're gonna have to just try it. I'm gonna bring back the revs and listen for it dying out. Okay, good. Do we just go for it? No. Ah! Have we drove all this way to go for a swim? That's bad. I'm just gonna go for it.
Imagine there was a device where you could test your boat at home before you went to the lake. That's the noise we didn't want to hear.
What is going on? It's almost like we need to raise the idle. But how do you do that?
There's a wee screw in there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is Johnny a better mechanic than me?
We've worked out more so far.
I told you about the idler. Why did we put on our wetsuits before we fixed the boat? So is that little silver screw there the idler?
I hope Reggie doesn't see this.
Oh, it's got a screwdriver head.
Yeah.
So you can turn it now.
Yeah.
Now which way? It must be down, yeah, down.
Which way's down?
Screw
Both go down.
it, screw it to the right. You're blocking my camera view. How much have you turned it?
That's moving the throttle. We've worked it out.
We've worked it out, we've actually done something.
Right, go try that.
Okay, please start. Right, I'm going to put the throttle back to idle. You fixed it! He's actually fixed it! What? I mean, we've actually fixed it.
We?
Me. I actually fixed it.
Who's on the screwdriver?
I handed it to you. We are actually good mechanics.
Turn it off.
Let's go wakeboarding. Let's head out to the middle of a lake on a very dodgy boat at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday evening with not a single other boat out here. At least if we get stranded, we can have like a survivor's video to explain what went wrong. Remind me not to jump in the lake as well wearing this microphone. Ready?
Yep.
Engaging.
Engaging.
Oh, that does not sound good.
I guess okay. It's also here.
We're done at 900 RPM. We're gonna stall as soon as I stop this. Yeah.
Oh, oh. Oh, huh?
Sure.
Oh.
We have no power. We have no power. We have no power. That does not sound healthy. My mother-in-law lied to me. She told me she had this boat out. Oh no. Oh no. Johnny, it's not happening. It's actually not happening.
I don't know what you're doing for the video.
No, I'm not. I promise you I'm not.
No power.
Nope. Nothing.
Did you screw it?
Ah! I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. Ah, right. We may get it back on a trailer. We'll go for a swim first. Go for a swim first. It looks warmer than it is. It's flipping freezing. It really doesn't even look that appealing. But I've come this far. Freezing.
It's not cold.
It's nice now. He's gonna do a backflip. Prepare to be impressed. What are you doing?
The jetty's cold. They're right in there.
Yes, freezing. Hurry up. I'm soaking wet. So our boat didn't work. We didn't get wakeboarding. The weather's terrible, but it is nice to go for a swim. And on that bombshell, back to the studio. After last night, I have also woke up with a really bad cold. Now, I think I was getting the cold before we went to the lake. So I think staying in the cold water for about 25 minutes has absolutely nothing to do with my current state. So it's now Thursday morning, and I still need an outro for this week's video. The bull's not happy wherever he is. He is the crossest bull we have ever had. So instead of an outro by a lake at sunset, I'm going to give you a bit more detail on my grazing challenges. Because this year has been really, really tough to graze cows. And I don't know whether it's just I've got bad at it, or that the growth has just been so all over the place. I'm not sure. But the reason doesn't matter. Doesn't change the fact that grazing cows has not went perfectly this year. I've taken some pretty severe steps to try and correct it. The bull is officially now coming for us. So I'll keep this short. He's really not happy with me. So I had to top so much, pre-mow so much, and even put some into silage and bales because I had too much grass. Do you mind? But because I have topped and cut and baled so much grass, I took out a huge chunk of my grazing block, which meant that the growth rates were all on a much flatter line. And today and tomorrow is the last 2 paddocks that we're going into with a decent cover of grass. After that, we're into the fields which we baled, put in a silo and pre-mowed. And there's a really nice cover, but there is very little grass. And that's the challenge. I knew that was going to happen if I kept cutting paddocks and baling it. But I had no choice, because the cows just weren't grazing the heavy covers. So I've taken the drastic action. We are now going back into good grass, albeit very light amounts of it, but I think I'll be able to manage it. There's a lot of wet weather coming over the next 2 weeks again, so I'm planning to bring the cows back into the house at night, give them lots of silage to make up for the shortfall of grass in the fields, and hopefully, this time 2 weeks, we will be back on track with grazing cows. Right, I have to somehow make it across that field to put that boat back in the shed. As good job I'm a fast runner. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this week's video. It's been a bit all over the place, but that has very much been my week. Please do give it a like. It really helps share it with new people. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Any comments, stick them down below. And hopefully, so long as I can outrun this bull, I'll be back next week. I'll maybe run on this side of the fence. It's probably a better idea.